proud to have back once again, pleased as can be, Louisiana State Attorney General Mr. Jeff Landry. Hello, Mr. Jeff. How are you? Hope you had a nice holiday, and hope you will have a nice holiday.
I hope everyone has a very happy and safe holiday.
I saw the headline last night, 50 days till Trump, and already, and I just said to Erin a couple of seconds ago, the one campaign promise he has to keep is border security. But as the inauguration approaches, as that day gets nearer and nearer, there are sanctuary cities across the country that are doubling down on their intentions not to follow the rule of law.
Well, you know, it's funny because I was just at the National Association of Attorney Generals at that conference and ended up having a conversation with a couple of people who are inside the circle of the Trump transition. And we talked about that. We talked about going back here in Louisiana, because what we did this year, I get lost in time. What we did this year is actually the model for what is coming out of, I think, the Trump administration, and that is to withhold funding from these cities. And if you remember, Representative Valerie Hodges had a bill, and Jay Morris had a bill that would penalize cities when they engage in sanctuary city policies. And, of course, we passed it through the House in a bipartisan manner, and then it got log jammed in a state Senate committee, which was unfortunate. But I think that, you know, with the tragedies that we've had since then and the loss of life that we've seen at the hands of illegal aliens who had committed previous crimes in this state, that we believe we can come back and pass that bill in the spring session. And I think that we're going to, I will tell you that we're going to work very closely with the administration and the Department of Homeland Security in cracking down on this, on this problem, and basically trying to get these elected officials to abide by the law. You know, we were somewhat successful, though. We forget about the victory we did have a couple of months ago, where we forced Mitch Landry and them to capitulate, and the Obama administration to capitulate on a consent decree that the city of New Orleans was under, and change the wording of that consent decree to eliminate, you know, probably about 50% of the problem that New Orleans was engaging in, that created them as a sanctuary city.
When you see cities like San Francisco or Los Angeles or de Blasio, the mayor of New York, when you see them, for all intents and purposes, doubling down on their being so adamant about ignoring the rule of law, and you talk to the Trump folks as you did at your National Attorney General's meeting, do you think the people in these cities, these sanctuary cities, do you think they think that Trump is bluffing? And do you think he is? I
don't believe he's bluffing. I believe he's serious about doing something about illegal immigration. I think that if they intend to play a game of chicken, I think that they're going to lose. I'm not telling you that of course, I don't know exactly what the process is that the Trump administration is going to engage in going about doing it.
Well, pardon me just a second, and I want you to finish the thought. From talking to the folks at your meeting, do you get the sense that the Trump folks, that President Trump will really cut off federal funding to sanctuary cities?
Well, you know, again, I can't speak for the transition team or the administration, but personally, I do believe, based upon what I'm seeing, reading, and hearing, that he certainly would consider and eventually cut off funding to those cities if they don't abide by federal law. Because, look, it's common sense. Why should federal taxpayers around the country, continue to give their treasure out of their personal pockets to the federal government, and then the federal government in turn give that treasure to cities who violate federal law? Basically, what they're doing is breaking the law as well. This is a manner of incentivizing these people to do the right thing. Taking away that funding, whether you do it cold turkey or whether you do it slowly, to make sure that they know that you're serious or not, is hopefully a deterrent for these people in an effort to keep them from engaging in these types of policies.